Kirsty, so good to see you. Happy, what day is it? Thursday today of the time of recording. It's Christmas time. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you, Jack, for having me. I'm so excited for our conversation today.
My pleasure. It's great to have you here, of course. As always, I love to dive straight into it. Today is about learning as much as we can about you, Kirsty. So let's start from the top. Please introduce yourself, a title that you'd like to go by, and of course, explain what exactly it is that you do.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Kirsty Allen and I'm the candle business coach. I help candle makers grow their business from humble beginnings into empires, depending on what their goals and dreams are. And I do that via a couple of different ways. So I've got a podcast, I have a membership, and I have a Facebook group as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you obviously cover all walks of life across the candle aspect there. What inspired you to start yourself in the business? I know, I guess, shock horror, you're obviously in the candle business yourself prior to it, so I'm sure you'll give us a bit on that. But yeah, what inspired you to get involved into candles and then into the coaching side?
Yeah. So when I started my candle business, I was full of anticipation and hope and excitement and joy and just looking forward to reaching all my goals and dreams along the journey. But I found that the journey was harder than I realized what I first anticipated. And not having the support of someone to guide me through those hurdles and challenges, you kind of just fumble through it yourself. You go on YouTube, you Google a lot of things, you join the Facebook groups, which unfortunately aren't always as positive and supportive as they could be. So one day I thought, well, why not step up to become the person that people can look to support them on their journey? I've always enjoyed and always been, I guess, naturally skilled at helping others, and I want that to be, I guess, my legacy, looking back when I'm old and grey. And then so one day I just thought, well, why can't it be me? So I started to, I guess, I started a podcast, which has been going for just over 2 years now, starting off with the techniques of making candles and the pitfalls and the challenges that you can come across. And then the business side of how to grow, with social media and marketing, how to build a website, having guest speakers, having people on the podcast that could help guide the candle makers that need that support and encouragement. From that, I developed a membership where people, candle makers, could come together and support one another and be, I guess, a guiding light, and that person to say, like, the accountability and the encouragement to say, look, you can do this. You just need a little bit of support, and here's how I can help you.
Perfect. And it's so vital with, I guess, any industry, not just candles, being able to offer a variety of forms of support and learning. So everyone's got their own different learning and support styles that they are able to flourish in. Me, myself, I can't just sit and read a script or a step-by-step instruction to success. I like having that human interaction. So I'm sure that's why you've also gone down the path of having the podcast, the groups, and the one-on-one aspect too. So really exciting to see how you've kind of evolved just to where you are today. Is there any other kind of key obstacles or any points that really challenged you or really kind of even made you question whether candles was right for you or coaching was right for you? Did you have any moments like that, Kirsty?
Not specifically in that I was faced with a moment of, I don't know whether I can do this, or I don't know if it's the right path for me. I feel like when you follow the butterflies and you listen to your intuition, you naturally gravitate toward things that are right for you. So even though, I mean, everyone's got goals and dreams that they haven't yet realized. So even though I haven't realized my ultimate goals and dreams yet, I know I'm on the right journey because it feels right to me and I'm having a positive impact on others. So not only do I have the podcast and the membership, I also send a daily motivation email to people that want to sign up for that. It doesn't have to be candle makers, it can be anyone. And I myself am on that list. So every morning when I wake up, I get this email to say, like it's more, it's a little more interesting than just, you can do it and I believe in you.
Yeah.
But it makes you ponder and it makes you think a little bit about like setting the intention for your day. And so for me, even just the responses I get from those emails, which is just one part of the business, which is almost like a side part because it doesn't necessarily have to do with candle making, but it's something that I know is so needed because motivation and accountability and support is one of the biggest hurdles that people face in their business, at least what I've experienced and what I've seen with candle makers, is that they don't necessarily always have support from their family and friends in a way that they understand what they're going through. Like, their family and friends will say, yes, we support you, and we're excited for you, but they don't necessarily understand the ins and outs and the challenges. So knowing that using, like I can use my skills to help other people, specifically candle makers, to grow their business and to stay the course when they've got these goals and dreams, and they just need that, sometimes a little hand holding, sometimes a friendly kick up the bum to say, you can do this, and it's important for you to reach for your future self by taking the action, by taking inspired, imperfect action today.
It's so true. And whether it's at any other retail kind of style store, whether it is candle making, you always have that baseline support with family and friends. They'll buy a candle or two off of you. They'll do the basic, but they won't really know those ins and outs and know how to level up to a stage where they're not just relying on friends buying candles to keep their business afloat. So really interesting take on that as well. What would you say? I mean, it might be hard for you to put your finger on one specific point, but what would you say then helps to set you apart from the other coaches in the space right now, Kirsty? What do you think is maybe one of your more defining factors there?
I think for me, it comes from the angle of support and encouragement and motivation and accountability more than just the candles. So you could come to me and ask candle questions and I can get real deep and technical with it. But at the end of the day, anything that I share about candle making, you can find online. So the difference with me is that I'm actually providing that support, whether it's in the membership or on social media, or in my coaching, my one-on-one clients. I'm able to be the coach that you need to help you get through the challenges, whether they're mental or if they're struggling in other ways. Whereas I feel like some of the other coaches in this space, and there aren't that many, which is a blessing, is that they're focusing mainly just on the candle side. So the candle business, the candle making, whereas I do that and I have the added layer of the support and encouragement and accountability.
Yeah, it's adding that business acumen and the actual core knowledge of how to establish it behind it. I think is that other level that you can, not saying anyone can just go and watch YouTube videos on how to do it. I saw how hard it was. I mean, I shared with you in our previous calls there that my wife had her own candle business as well during COVID. So I've seen, the entire side of it myself, and how stressful and how bearing it can be, from the products to the business establishment to the sales, everything else. I can see how draining it can be. I couldn't have done it myself, so I completely understand that, the need and the requirement for a lot of businesses out there that may just need that extra support to really take that next level. So maybe another way for some readers and listeners to relate to you today, what would you then say some of your biggest achievements were, maybe when you did have your own candle business, or maybe some client wins? If you're happy to share any specific details, you're welcome to. But yeah, would love to hear maybe one of your higher achievements there.
Yeah, of course. So I think probably one of the biggest achievements is when, it might sound small, but it is big when you first begin your business, is when you sell a product to someone online, like through your website, that you don't know. So a stranger off the internet has come to your website, they've fallen in love with the description and the pictures and the vibe of your business, and then they click add to cart and purchase. That is such a reassuring moment in your business when you get those first initial sales, because it starts to build up that courage and confidence within you as a business owner. But in terms of my biggest win, it would be when I contacted a conference to create candles as their giveaway gifts. And it ended up being, I think, it was just under 1,000 candles, little tin candles for that conference. So the reach that I had from that experience and that exposure certainly boosted my confidence and gave me like a good injection of cash for the business.
Great idea. And I'm saying this genuinely, I haven't heard of anyone else thinking of going down that route of whether it's referrals or business gifts, however you would like to pitch it in that connotation. But it's the first time I've heard of any coach using that to help grow their business. So props to you for thinking outside the box, and makes complete sense that that's a big achievement too. Yeah. Is there, I know I've only given you short notice on this one, so no stress, but is there a line, a quote, an author, anything like that that's really helped you get from A to Z to where you are today, Kirsty, if you can put your finger on it?
Yeah, so I don't know where it comes from, or if it's just something my mum said when I was younger, but it probably is a quote somewhere online. I'll have to look it up. But the saying is, if not now, then when? And I feel like so often we can procrastinate and keep busy but not be productive and find other things to do rather than actually taking the action we know we need to take in our business. So I often think of, if not now, if I don't do it now, then when am I going to do it? So for me, it's keeping at the forefront of my mind what my goals and dreams are, what my why is and what my passions are, and knowing that I've got people counting on me is a great accountability factor as well. I do this business because it makes me so happy, but it also brings a lot of joy to me, my family, and then supporting others as well. The friendships I've created, the connections I've had with other businesses has been incredible. And I feel like when you get over yourself and you just get on with it, that's when the action is taken and that's when you get your results.
So true. And I relate to that on many levels as well. I think it's one of the more common ones that whether it is parents, whether it's other business talks that you hear quite often. And it is, sometimes you just need that kick up the bum to really snap out of it, whether it's, a moment of self-pity or it is procrastination or whatever it is, you just need to move on with it and keep charging, because it really does put you in that reflection space. You're like, can I afford to wait 6, 12, 24 months to start doing it, or even start going to where I wanted to be 2 years from now? So yeah, really good. Thank you for sharing that one.
You're welcome.
What's next for Kirsty? We're obviously at a level today where we have a pretty decently large impact on the candle industry as a whole. Where to next? Do you have any figures in mind? Doesn't have to be obviously monetary, but number of people you've helped, businesses you've helped. Is there any figures and goals that you have in mind you're happy to share today?
Yeah, definitely. So in my membership, which is a monthly membership that's an ongoing connection with the candle makers in the community, I have just under 30 members. So for me, I would love to help 50 and then 75 and then 100 members. I feel like the bigger the group gets, the more pooled resources we have together to help support one another. And I've noticed that when I had, only a handful of members, it was mainly me putting in all the stuff. Others just come in.
That's okay. No dramas at all.
Can you say hello? Say hi.
How you going? You got a car as well.
You got a car. Yeah, it got broken.
Nice to meet you.
Exactly. So when I had a handful of members, I found that it was me pushing in a lot of effort, which is what I was there for and what I was there to do. But the more members we have in the group, the more, as I said, the more resources we have and the more support. It brings up the energy and the vibe of the group. And I feel like if I can impact, 50 members and then 75 and then 100 and who knows how big it'll get, I just know that the community will benefit so much from that support.
Oh yeah, it's that whole concept of one common conscience that everyone ends up on that same, linear plane and really puts in, whether it is for each other, it becomes a community, which is really awesome. So
yes,
I'm excited for that. I definitely will continue to check in and follow along. So thank you for sharing, I guess, the business side. I love finishing with what I call a fast five. It's just worked out the first thing that comes to mind. It's a bit more of a happier finishing ending away from business thoughts. So, all right, are we ready to go?
I'm ready.
Cool. What advice would you give to your younger self, Kirsty?
Don't give up. You're worthy and your goals are closer than you realize.
Love that. Love that. Number 2, who was your teenage celebrity crush?
Oh, gosh. Keanu Reeves in The Matrix.
So good. First celebrity crush that's mentioned Keanu. I love that. No, really good. Big fan of all he's just loved by everyone, I think. I don't think I heard of anyone that's ever hated Keanu. So
yeah, true.
Number 3, favorite podcast that you listen to outside of your own?
Yes. Gosh, I don't listen to many podcasts, to be honest. I'm more into audiobooks. So if I was to listen to a podcast, it would probably be the Mel Robbins podcast.
Perfect. Okay, I'll add to the list. Had no one's mentioned Mel Robbins yet. So there you go, another unique one. Number 4, what music genre gets you in the zone then, whether it is, the gym, work, whatever it is, what's your go-to?
At the moment, I'm really loving pop music, which is so cliche, but I'm just loving the upbeat vibes and the positivity that comes with the lyrics. I'm more about the lyrics than the music, but when I want to just switch off, I'll pop that on and I'll just dance around the house and just have fun.
I love that. I think with pop as well, actually changes as a genre itself year to year, because pop
Yeah.
music will change as what is popular. So it will sharpen around. So I totally understand if you love pop now but didn't 5 years ago. It's very
Yes.
so good point to bring up. And the most important of all, tomato sauce or barbecue sauce?
Tomato sauce.
Tomato. Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. Would love for you to plug all of your channels now as well, if you're happy to. Could you please list where readers and listeners can get in touch with you, listen to your podcast, all that sort of stuff, Kirsty?
Yeah, of course. So on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, I'm at Candle Business Coach. My podcast is called Candle Business Coach, and you can find the membership online at candlebusinesscoach.com.au.
Awesome. Thank you. And lovely to meet your toddler as well today. It's been a total pleasure, and thank you for your time.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate it.